Can this lifeless-looking stick become a beautiful, thriving rose bush in just 30 days? I took on the challenge to find out. It was a month-long journey, a daily battle inside a single pot, and I'm going to show you everything that happened. The good, the bad, and the surprisingly beautiful. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my complete 30-day bare root rose container challenge, so you can replicate this process, avoid the mistakes I made, and grow a thriving container rose from what looks like nothing more than a bundle of dead sticks. This isn't just a story of success, it's a story about the struggle. It's about fighting wilting leaves, discovering pests, and staring at the plant day after day, wondering if anything was happening at all. This is the real story of what it takes. At the end, I'll reveal the result that made every anxious day completely worth it. There's something incredibly intimidating about a bare root rose. It arrives looking like a bundle of sticks, and the idea that it holds the promise of fragrant, velvety blooms seems almost impossible. These are dormant plants, essentially asleep, with their roots completely exposed. And that's where my challenge began, to take this unassuming, dormant plant and using only a container, push it to produce lush, healthy growth in just 1 month. Why a container? Because it's an amplifier for everything. The limited space for roots, the constraints on nutrients, and the stress from the environment all get turned up to 11. Success would mean a stunning rose on my patio, grown from scratch, documented day by day. But failure, and the threat of failure felt constant, would mean I was left with nothing more than a pot of expensive dirt and a very dead stick. Days 1 through 7. Getting the start right. The first week of any challenge is filled with a mix of excitement and sheer terror. My goal for these first 7 days was simple: get the rose planted correctly and pray it didn't die from shock. I started before the rose ever touched soil. The first step was rehydration. Bare root roses arrive with dry, exposed roots that have been on a long journey. Those roots are thirsty, and they need a long drink before planting. I soaked my bare root rose in a bucket of water for 12 hours. You can go up to 24 hours, but never longer. Extended soaking can suffocate roots rather than revive them. While the rose soaked, I prepared the container. Container selection matters more than most people realize. I chose a large, light-colored pot, at least 16 to 20 inches wide and deep, because dark containers absorb heat and can literally cook roots in direct sun. Drainage holes are non-negotiable. Without them, water pools at the bottom and roots rot. The soil mix was equally critical. Garden soil compacts into a dense brick inside containers, strangling roots and blocking drainage. I created a custom blend, 2/3 high-quality potting mix and 1/3 organic compost. This combination provides nutrients while staying light and airy enough for roots to breathe and water to drain properly. Planting day arrived. I made a mound of soil in the center of the pot and spread the rehydrated roots over it like arranging a skirt, gently, without forcing or bending them. Here's a little trick I used. I sprinkled mycorrhizal fungi over the roots before backfilling. This beneficial fungus forms a symbiotic relationship with rose roots, helping them absorb water and nutrients more efficiently, a huge advantage in the confined space of a container. The bud union, that swollen knob where the rose variety was grafted onto the rootstock, needed careful positioning. In warmer climates, plant it 1 to 2 inches above soil level. In colder climates, plant it 2 to 3 inches below for winter protection. I backfilled carefully, firmed the soil to remove air pockets, and gave the pot a thorough soaking until water ran freely from the drainage holes. For the rest of that first week, my job was to keep things consistently moist. I watered daily with a focus on the soil, and even gave the canes a gentle spray to keep them from drying out as the plant settled in. Every day felt like an eternity, just staring at these lifeless sticks, hoping I'd done enough. Days 8 through 21, the emotional roller coaster. The second week is when the real emotional roller coaster began. The initial excitement had worn off, replaced by a low-grade anxiety. Was anything happening under the soil? And then, on day 9, I saw it. The tiniest red swellings on the canes. The first sign of life. Those swellings slowly, painstakingly unfurled into the first set of leaves, and the relief was immense. It was working. But with new growth came new problems. Just as I was celebrating those first leaves, I discovered aphids. tiny green insects clustered on the most tender new growth. This is a classic challenge with container roses. Pests can take hold incredibly fast. My heart sank. The daily battle had officially begun. I refused to use harsh chemicals, so I mixed up a simple solution of water and a few drops of dish soap and meticulously sprayed the plant, gently wiping the aphids away by hand. It became a daily ritual, a morning patrol hunting for any new invaders. By week 3, the rose was entering a genuine growth spurt. More leaves appeared, and the plant was starting to look less like a stick and more like an actual rose bush. But this rapid growth brought its own challenge: nutrient and water balance. I noticed lower leaves turning a pale, sickly yellow, a classic cry for help. In containers, this can indicate either nutrient deficiency or overwatering. I had intentionally avoided fertilizing during the first 2 weeks because fertilizer can burn delicate new roots. But now, with a healthy set of leaves established, it was time to start feeding. I began a weekly schedule with a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer formulated for roses. Watering also became a more delicate dance. The rule I followed: stick a finger 2 inches into the soil. If it came out dry, water deeply. If it was still damp, wait another day. This daily check became the most important 10 minutes of my morning, a small moment of connection that taught me to read the plant's actual needs rather than watering on a schedule. The teen days of the challenge were all about sustained effort. No longer the thrill of the new, but the grind of consistent care. Days 22 through 30, the payoff arrives. Entering the final stretch, the anticipation was electric. The bush was lush and green, a testament to the daily battles fought and won. And then, around day 24, I saw it. The first bud, tucked within a cluster of new leaves, no bigger than a pea, but it was the entire promise of this challenge wrapped in one small green package. This was the turning point. But the universe had one final test. A sudden cold front moved in with gusty winds. For a rose in the ground, this is a minor annoyance. For a container rose, it's a major source of stress that can dry out the pot in hours and physically damage new growth. I moved the container to a sheltered spot against the house immediately. It was a stark reminder of how vulnerable container plants are to environmental stress. The final days of the 30-day challenge were a slow, beautiful spectacle. I want to be honest about what 30 days actually delivers. I didn't have a fully open bloom on day 30. That's a fairy tale timeline. Realistically, bare root roses take 8 to 12 weeks to produce their first flower. But what I did have on day 30 was a thriving, leafy, vibrant plant, loaded with developing buds. Proof that the method worked completely. And then, a few weeks later, it happened. A perfect, fully formed, fragrant rose. Holding that container, looking at the vibrant bloom against the backdrop of where that bare stick once stood, was a moment of pure triumph. The transformation was staggering. From a dormant, lifeless-looking plant to this living, breathing, beautiful thing. So what did 30 days actually teach me? First, preparation is everything. That initial soak and the custom soil mix weren't just steps in a tutorial. They were the foundation for every week of growth that followed. Skipping either one would have set the plant up for failure from day 1. Second, vigilance is not optional. The daily check-ins for water and the early detection of pests made all the difference. Problems in a container multiply exponentially faster than in a garden bed. The aphids I caught early could have devastated the plant within days if I hadn't been checking every morning. And finally, I learned something about resilience, both the plant's and my own. There were days I was convinced it was failing. Days when the yellowing leaves or the aphid clusters made me certain I'd made a mistake. But with consistent care, the rose always bounced back. It wanted to grow. My job was simply to remove the obstacles in its way. This journey taught me that gardening isn't about having a magical green thumb. It's about showing up, paying attention, and having the patience to see it through. The feeling of seeing that first bloom was absolutely incredible, and I want you to experience it too. If you've ever been intimidated by bare root roses, I hope this journey shows you that it's completely achievable. I challenge you to try your own gardening project. It doesn't have to be a rose, it could be anything. Pick a plant, set a goal, and document your journey. Share your own challenge in the comments below. What will you be growing? I'd love to hear about it and cheer you on. If this 30-day journey inspired you to try your own bare root rose challenge, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow gardeners who've been intimidated by bare root planting. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We've got more container gardening guides, rose care tips, and real-time growing challenges coming your way soon. Check out the related videos linked right here on the screen to dive deeper into container rose care and choosing the right rose varieties. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our growing gardening community. 30 days ago, I started with a bundle of sticks and a question: is it possible? Today, the answer is a fragrant, blooming success. This challenge was more than just a gardening project. It was a daily lesson in patience, problem solving, and the quiet joy of watching something grow. Thank you for joining me on this journey from bare root to blooming. Until next time, happy gardening. Now go start your own.